Hey there, it's Kimberly Lucht. I'm a business coach and energy healer for entrepreneurs who want to make more money and magic doing what they love. And so if that's you, you're in the right place. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about beliefs and practices that will help you manifest more money. And so if you are in business and you are the main generator of your income, then this is something that's really going to help, because a lot of times what it comes down to is what we're doing day to day, and also the beliefs and energy that we're bringing into our life and our business and our money generation. And so we're going to cover 3 of my favorite practices when it comes to manifesting more money. And the first one is to make selling a spiritual practice. And so when we think about yoga or meditation or anything else that feels like a spiritual ritual or practice in our lives, a lot of times we're like, yeah, of course we're going to do morning yoga, or yeah, of course we're going to do evening meditation. Like, that's just kind of part of the ritual. That's part of what helps me feel great. That's part of what helps me feel alive. And the same goes for your business. Your business has certain rituals and practices, I think, that help it feel alive and it get going and keep going and continue to be alive decades to come. So one of the main things that any business needs is revenue or money generation, and a lot of that has to do with consistently putting what you have to offer out, and not in a way that's like sales, sales, sales all the time, all day, every day, but more so like sales becoming a spiritual practice, where when you're on a session or you're on a call or you're on this kind of webinar space or masterclass space where you're selling something, noticing that the sale itself, the offer itself, is an offering. It's something that is coming from your heart and your soul, and it's something that has channeled through you for a reason, is you want to help, serve, expand people's lives. So if that's something that you struggle with, or it's something that you feel like, I think I can make this a little better for myself or easier for myself, then hopefully this reframe helps of making selling a spiritual practice. And so what does that mean then in practice? It does mean that you're showing up, whether it's on sales calls or in person to pitch your offer, or on a webinar or a masterclass to sell your course. It means that you're showing up consistently enough to put your stuff out there, because when you're putting your stuff out there, it means that you're putting your soul and your real self out into the world. Because yes, you created this. This is your business. This is your offer. This is something that if you don't share it with the world, who will? So because of that, it is a deeply spiritual practice to put it out into the world in a way that says, yes, I'm willing to, help you, serve you, expand you in exchange for this currency, which money is currency, AKA like in the flow energy. And having that exchange between people is also a spiritual practice. It seems like, all of these other business techniques or sales techniques might not seem like they put it into context that way, but I really want you to think about it in that frame of mind, because ultimately what we're here to do is heighten the world and achieve this higher vibration for everybody. And maybe that's through coaching or healing or yoga teaching or anything else that feels like, yes, I'm making people's lives better, is you're changing the planet, you're changing the energy of the world. And so that is deeply important, to sell that stuff and to offer it and to complete it, like to work in the work, like do the work. But you can't do the work consistently if you're not being paid, if you're not being, in that sales energy of like, here's what I can offer and this is what it costs, the investment is, or whatever. Like, you have to be in that flow. And so making selling the spiritual practice can help you then make your work even more fluid and more in flow and more in flux, right? And having that become more of a staple in the world and in the space that we need you in, right? The more money you receive, the more you can contribute. That's really how this works out. And so the second practice that I love to implement when I want to manifest more money is to ask people what they need. What does your audience want from you? What are they asking you about? What are the things that are deep in the back of their minds that are like, oh my God, I can't get this out of my head. I really need support with this. The reason why asking is so powerful is because then you can really tailor whatever you do offer into that kind of space where you're like, this is exactly what people need. This is what they've told me they want. So, okay, let's see what I can create. And when you create something from that space, it's like you're deeply listening to the desires of the people that are in your audience. And it creates that, back and forth energy of like, okay, like I can communicate with her. I can communicate with this person about whatever it is that I feel like I need. Now, asking doesn't necessarily always mean that you're going to implement on what you hear, right? So maybe you hear something like, I want you to start a bakery and make these cookies forever. And maybe that's not your life path. And so you can discern what that is for you. And maybe there's certain ideas or requests that you get that just are not feasible for you. And that's okay too. But where the money lies is that middle ground, right? The middle ground between what people want and what you feel called to do. And that middle ground is like a money garden in a way. Like this is where a lot of beautiful revenue can be generated, is when you bring what people are asking for into what you actually are being called as a soul to do on this planet at this time. You bring them together. It's like, oh my gosh, look at this money tree. And look how beautiful it is. And it's so green and so lovely. And that's I think the best breeding grounds for that is this hybrid between what you want to do and what people want you to do. So the third practice I like to implement when it comes to manifesting money is to do everything I can and release the rest. So let's say you are set on making a certain amount this year, or making a certain amount in the next year, or whatever it is, this quarter, this month, whatever you have your sights on. There's certain things that, yes, you can do to get there. And then at some point in the day or the week or the month, you realize that, okay, I need to release the rest. And why does this matter? The reason why this matters is because when we're so attached to an outcome that we're gripping onto it like this, it's just so unlikely that it's gonna come easily or quickly enough for you to feel like, okay, yeah, manifested. It's more like, I stripped all of my energy off for this. And I'm like, oh, it's just so gung-ho and so about it. And what I'm asking you more to do here is to do everything in your power to manifest the money that you want to manifest. But then at the end of the day, knowing that you did enough, knowing that you did what you could to manifest that money, and releasing the outcome and releasing attachment to outcome. Now, if you're in the middle of a launch, that can be hard to hear. There's so much that needs to happen. There's so much that needs to go out, and emails and communication, webinars, all this stuff. But it's something that I think is important to hear, right? It's like when you hit the pillow at night, when your head is resting and you're all right, it's time to sleep, and you feel like you're you're maybe turning the wheels in your head a little bit too much. Those are the moments where we have to, just anything else in life, we have to release what we can't control. Yeah. And so bringing in the energy of doing everything you can and doing everything in your power to get there, and also then releasing it to the universe. Just like you might release a balloon to the sky. It's okay, let's let it go. Let's let it float away. It'll come back when it's meant to. Right now it's time to rest or to sleep or to do anything else. But I know that I've done enough and I've done what I can to contribute towards this money goal. Now, that's going to help you manifest money in such a more powerful way, in a way that doesn't burn you out, in a way that doesn't feel like you're forcing things to happen, but in a way that feels like, oh my gosh, here's the money. Here, it just came so easily, right? You look at your bank account and you're like, ah, zing, just magical money dropping in. So I think that energy is something that we all are craving a little bit more of. And if you want more of that, then that is a practice that I invite you to partake in. And so just to recap, the 3 practices to manifest more money into your life is to, number 1, make selling a spiritual practice. Number 2, ask people what they want from you. And number 3 is to do what you can and let go of the rest. I really hope that this helps. And if you want more guidance like this, I invite you to download my Soulful Business Roadmap. It's a free guide to help you create or grow your dream business. And if you want that, if you want more of that juicy goodness, then click the link below and sign up. It just requires your name and email. And after you submit, you should receive it in your inbox shortly. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you in the next video. Ciao for now. Bye.